So we got something a little bit different today. It's going to be a ceiling repair. Let's take a look at it. Yes, that's a hole in a ceiling. And there's a little bit more damage over here. Obviously that there was a water leak. So you can see the owner here has already taken out the loose tapes. If we look up here, you can see water stains. The water stains are important to remember because we are going to be completely going over that textured surface and then retexturing it. Those water stains will bleed through. So we're going to show you how to avoid that. Now the first thing we're doing, we take a look way down here, good boy camera, is we're going to be covering up this carpet with this particular product here. It's Gardia, it's a floor covering. I don't even know if it has an exact name, but it has a nice sticky surface to it, so it won't wiggle and wobble around and move on you like a drop sheet would. We're going to be working with stilts, and the stilts, you know, it becomes a trip hazard if you're using a drop sheet. It's a pretty simple procedure getting this stuff down. One thing I should point out here in Ontario where we got this is about $40 a roll. So, you know, there's a cost involved, but at the same time, this stuff is reusable depending on just how much debris you get on it. So normally with this particular type of floor covering, we don't need to mask off the joints, but we're going to be making quite a big mess in here between pulling out loose drywall, and then we're going to be painting before we spray, and then the spray is incredibly messy. So yeah, we're going to end up having to toss $40 worth of the Gardia, which is a lot cheaper than having to replace a carpet that's underneath. And just to go into this room, now we can see the entire floor is covered. And that's about it, you know, just make sure that you cover up those seams down there, because you never know if a little bit of paint might end up, say, right where my toe is, and then it seeps underneath. We have Jason up there putting up the masking tape.
Good morning.
There we go. I seem to be having dexterity issues this morning. But anyways, yeah, there again, we have that hole up there. Man, that's ugly at the moment. Anyways, the whole point about the green tape is simply it doesn't stick so badly that it'll pull the paint off after we pull this down. Now, you can't leave it up there forever. They recommend that you take it down after a week. After doing something like we're doing, I recommend no more than 2 days, though. So when we put the masking tape up, we tend to leave a loose area on the bottom. The reason for that is that we tuck our plastic. Most of the guys call it poly around here, but it's a plastic sheet. Just see my hand right here. That's all it is. And it gets tucked in underneath. Don't expect to go too fast if you're new to this, but this way there's no staples involved in holding it up. And the whole room gets done like that. So in that hole there used to be this vent right here. We just pull it down. It's a lot easier than trying to mask them off. And for the light, which is going to be incredibly bright in a moment, it's actually, I know this is going to seem unsafe, it's dangling by its own wires, but this happens all the time. We just simply pull it down so that we don't have to mask off that light either. And it's always been successful. Okay, so we penciled in some lines. They're a little bit difficult to see, but anyways, what we want to do is just simply make this, cut this out nice and straight. So I'm going to let you watch Jason cut this out with a multi-tool. I should point out, it's a good idea to use safety goggles for this, but we didn't even think of bringing any. When you do this, you obviously want to make sure you're aware of the potential for cutting wires. But there we have a nice square hole, and we actually pre-cut our piece. Let's see if it fits. So I'm going to take 5 seconds to just quickly show you my wife's Lego Christmas decorations. But how about I come back here and we'll talk about work again, because y'all ain't getting no days off. Okay, I wanted to stop the video right here for 2 reasons. First of all, I borked half my footage, okay? So I need to add something in that's at least a little bit helpful to other. The other thing is it's very important that I get back to those yellow stains in the ceiling. Looks like somebody peed on the ceiling, okay? It's that bad or whatever. It can be nicotine or tar from cigarettes, water damage, which is what we're dealing with. Sometimes old drywall, the color on the paper just bleeds through. And I've been called back or asked to fix things because it became yellow. I don't feel like getting called back. You probably wouldn't either, and you wouldn't want to redo your own home project. So anyways, first of all, I'm going to have to be dyslexic here. This is just a regular cheapo primer here. There's nothing wrong with it. I wouldn't use it necessarily before painting, but before texture spray, it's great. It's cheap, where I get this for 50 bucks. Spray it onto new construction, do your texture spray, no problems at all. This costs 5 times as much money, and there's a good reason for it. It's a stain blocker, and there are less expensive stain blockers, and they have reasonable success, but this is about the best latex stain blocker that I'm aware of. I'm not saying it is the best, because everybody's coming out with something new, and on top of that, it's not as if I've tried every different type of paint from every different type of company. But anyways, one thing I want to emphasize before I even go on to this $250 pail of paint versus this $50 one is, you can't just expect to put that paint on thin and squeeze it on. My favorite painter has always told me, put some paint on it. Just simply meaning you have to put a reasonable amount of paint on, otherwise you can't expect this stuff to work miracles otherwise. So anyways, you get it on with 1 coat, it shouldn't be a problem. If you're really nervous, put a coat on, wait an hour, put another coat on. And if you're extraordinarily nervous, not that I've ever experienced this, but you can put a 3rd coat on, spray the next day. Now, this is a latex. There are oil-based stain killers. They work better, except they're not as easy to spray. That's kind of a detail that you would need some experience to actually understand why it's not as easy to spray. But more importantly, the oil-based paints are toxic. You know, you're going to have these fumes floating around in a house for up to a month, and you don't want to do that to yourself or to your customers. You even need special respirators to be working with it, because it's awful if you're spraying it on. So anyways, I'm just going to show you this one here, and also I'm going to recommend, if you don't have this available to you, there are others there, and I'm going to assume that they work similarly. If you drop by a paint store, you can ask for a stain blocker, tell them what you're doing, and they'll probably be able to give you a good recommendation. Now, there's one other reason why I stopped the video, which I mentioned before, a lot of wrecked footage in this one. So I'm actually going to continue the ceiling repair. It's another ceiling repair, which is almost identical work. There's a hole in the ceiling that's got patched up or whatever. We have to skim coat the ceilings and white borders in, keep it all nice and clean, stuff like that. So it should be useful. So anyways, this is going to be a 2-part video. I'm going to work on the other footage, and hopefully I'll get the remainder out by the end of this week coming up. Of course, if this video hangs around, you won't know what week that is. So thanks for watching this one. Bye-bye.